What if I told you that the United States government once secretly experimented on its own citizens, without their consent, to see if the human mind could be controlled? No rumor, no conspiracy theory. This isn't hidden speculation. This is declassified fact. For decades, the files were locked away, destroyed, denied, or buried under the label of national security. But when they were finally released, they revealed something far more disturbing than anyone expected. Tonight, we're uncovering how declassified CIA files permanently changed what we know about mind control, and why the implications still matter today. Stay until the end, because the real story isn't just what happened, it's why it was allowed to happen. To understand why the CIA began studying mind control, we need to go back to the Cold War. The United States was terrified, not of bombs, but of brains. American prisoners of war in Korea were returning home with altered beliefs, strange behaviors, and psychological trauma. Some even praised communism. The word used at the time was chilling, brainwashing. US intelligence feared the Soviet Union, and China had discovered a way to rewrite the human mind. And so the CIA asked a dangerous question. If our enemies can control minds, shouldn't we learn how too? In 1953, the CIA launched Project MK-Ultra. Official purpose: to study whether the human mind could be influenced, broken, or reprogrammed. What actually happened was far darker. According to declassified documents, experiments included administration of LSD and other drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, sleep deprivation, psychological torture, isolation, electroshock. Many test subjects did not know they were part of an experiment. Some were prisoners, hospital patients, military personnel, everyday civilians. The CIA justified it as necessary. But even at the time, some insiders knew it had crossed a line. Here's where the mystery deepens. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of most MK-Ultra records. Thousands of files gone. Why? Official explanation: to protect identities. But critics believe it was to prevent accountability. Despite the destruction, some files survived due to a financial storage error. And those surviving documents were enough to shock the world. In the mid-1970s, US Congress launched investigations. For the first time, the CIA admitted to mind control experiments. Testimony revealed subjects were given hallucinogens without consent. Some suffered permanent psychological damage. At least one death was linked to the program. The most famous case involved Frank Olson, a scientist unknowingly dosed with LSD. Days later, he fell or was pushed from a hotel window. The CIA initially called it suicide. Decades later, the government admitted wrongdoing and compensated the family. But even then, questions remained unanswered. Here's the part most people misunderstand. The CIA failed to create a controllable human puppet. They could not reliably implant commands, rewrite personality, create total obedience. But they did discover something else. They learned how stress breaks identity, isolation weakens resistance, repetition reshapes belief, authority suppresses doubt. In other words, they didn't learn how to control minds. They learned how to influence behavior. After MK-Ultra, direct experimentation largely stopped. But the knowledge didn't disappear. It evolved. Psychological research shifted toward media influence, propaganda, behavioral psychology, persuasion techniques, information control. The goal changed, not to dominate individuals, but to shape populations. control without chains, influence without force. The reason MK Ultra matters today isn't because it's happening again in the same way. It's because it proves something fundamental. Human behavior can be shaped without awareness. That lesson is now used in advertising, political messaging, media, framing, social engineering, algorithmic content delivery. The tools changed. The psychology stayed the same. So let's answer the question clearly. How did declassified CIA files change what we know about mind control? They showed us that. Governments were willing to experiment on minds. Ethics were sacrificed in the name of fear. Total mind control failed, behavioral influence succeeded. The most important revelation wasn't about control, it was about human vulnerability. The human mind doesn't need to be forced. It only needs repetition, emotional pressure, authority, and the illusion of choice. MK Ultra didn't prove that minds can be controlled. It proved something more unsettling, that under the right conditions, minds can be guided without ever realizing it.